Now, let's join ace broadcaster Mamode Akugha as he takes us inside the Niger Delta.
Hello out there and welcome to the program. It's Inside the Niger Delta, the authentic voice of Nigeria's oil-rich region. I'm your regular host, Mamode Akugha. In today's package, we take a look, as usual, at some of the burning issues trending in the Niger Delta. We begin with a report on the people's reaction to the eventual swearing-in recently of Honorable Justice AKON IKPEME as Chief Judge of Cross River State. Next in our lineup is a report on recent demand for payment of gas flare penalty to oil-producing communities in the Niger Delta. We will, in the course of the program, take a look at renewed calls on the River State government to address the menace of black soot, which residents of the state have had to contend with in over 5 years. And finally, in today's package is a report on the contributions of late Air Commodore IDONGESIT NKANGA, deceased national chairman of the Pan-Niger Delta Forum PANDEV, to the development of IBOM state and the rest of the Niger Delta. Inside the Niger Delta, the authentic voice of Nigeria's oil-rich region, will be back in just a moment. Don't go away.
Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, determined to make a difference.
Welcome back. It's Inside the Niger Delta, the authentic voice of Nigeria's oil-rich region. The human rights community has described the recent confirmation and subsequent swearing-in of Justice AKON IKPEME as Chief Judge of Cross River State as an affirmation of the rule of law in the state. While taking a retrospective look at the intriguing plot by the Cross River State House of Assembly to deny the jurist a rightful position, some human rights activists of Cross River State extraction have warned that the attempt to subjugate the rule of law must not repeat itself in the state. Correspondent Tekena tells us more.
Until Justice AKON IKPEME's recent swearing-in as Chief Judge of Cross River State, she was a victim of tribal politics. After she was sworn in earlier as Acting Chief Judge by Governor Ben AYADE on the 3rd of December 2019, Justice IKPEME was in March 2020 nominated by the National Judicial Council as Substantive Chief Judge of Cross River State. However, some 25 members of the Cross River State House of Assembly rejected Justice IKPEME's nomination on grounds that she was not an indigene of Cross River State and was therefore a security threat to the state. Justice IKPEME's rejection on 2 occasions by members of the Cross River State House of Assembly was greeted with a public outcry for obvious reasons. Justice IKPEME, the most senior official in the Cross River State Judiciary, was by law, judicial convention and rules of practice the rightful occupant of the office of Chief Judge. Although Justice IKPEME is by parental lineage from neighboring IBOM states, she was born and raised in Cross River State and is married to an Efik man from Cross River State. Even when her home state of IBOM was carved out from the old Cross River State in 1987, Justice IKPEME remained in Cross River State, where she retained her services and rose to become Director of Public Prosecution. After several months of succession crisis rocking the Cross River State Judiciary, the State Assembly finally bowed to intense public pressure to follow due process in the appointment of a substantive Chief Judge in Cross River State. The lawmakers on the 28th of January 2021 confirmed Justice IKPEME's nomination.
It is a welcome development. It is the right way to go, and we must begin to take these issues more seriously than the way we think or say them, you know. And this is victory for many other women who are on the queue, you know, because right now a precedent has been set, and this is a positive precedent.
It's a fantastic day. The Nigerian Bar Association were extremely delighted that the Lord Justice IKPEME has been sworn in today, finally.
While swearing in Justice IKPEME as substantive Chief Judge of Cross River State, Governor Ben AYADE had described her as the best person for the job.
I believe in a thanatological philosophy that she must put behind all the challenges in the process of getting back here, and to know that God has prevailed. Today brings to a close the internal concerns and worries of the people of Cross River State as to the stability of our judicial system.
The governor's position, however, appears to be an afterthought, as he is generally viewed as party to the initial plot to keep Justice IKPEME's appointment in abeyance. Barely 24 hours after her rejection by members of the Cross River State House of Assembly, Governor AYADE had on the 3rd of March 2020 sworn in Justice Maurice Eneji, a junior officer in the hierarchy of Cross River State Judiciary, as substantive Chief Judge of the state. Perhaps the biggest lesson for the legislative and executive arms of government in the succession crisis that engulfed Cross River State Judiciary is to refrain from subverting the rule of law and impinging on the independence of the judicial arm of government.
There's need for us to learn, to call for the right reform within the judiciary system. And by calling for that reform, basically to make it impossible for governors to appoint acting chief judge more than once. And if we can do that, that simply means that governors across the 6 states will have no option but to realize that they can only appoint acting chief judge once, and after that, they have to actually ensure that a substantive chief judge emerge.
In the face of oppression and denial, Justice IKPEME had maintained a calm disposition to the admiration of most observers. Clearly, she has a lot of work to do to quickly restore sanity to the Cross River State Judiciary that has been embroiled in a leadership crisis in the last 14 months.
The judiciary under my watch will cooperate with you, will cooperate with the legislature so that we can move Cross River State forward.
Justice AKON IKPEME, the second female Chief Judge of Cross River State, has had a flourishing career on the bench. In 1998, she was elevated to the status of a judge and has since then made positive contributions to the development of the state. She is expected to bring a wealth of experience to bear in the advancement of the rule of law and further development of Cross River State.
Inside the Niger Delta.
Senior Special Assistant to the President on Niger Delta Affairs, Senator ENANG has called on the Department of Petroleum Resources, DPR, to stop depositing funds generated from gas flare penalty in the Central Bank of Nigeria. In reaction to recent demands that gas flare penalties be paid directly to oil-producing communities, the presidential aide said it was the right thing to do, considering that they bear the brunt of gas flaring in the oil fields of the Niger Delta. Correspondent Lovely Ofigo has the report.
Recently, several groups in the Niger Delta have intensified calls on the federal government to release the sum of 98 billion naira realized from gas flare penalty to oil-producing communities. At the forefront of the campaign for social justice in the Niger Delta are groups like the Reformed Niger Delta Avengers and the host communities producing oil and gas in Nigeria, HOSTCOM. They argue that as victims of environmental pollution and many health hazards attendant on gas flaring, the oil-producing communities should be the beneficiary of gas flare penalties. Speaking to Inside the Niger Delta recently, Senator ENANG said it was a just demand that the federal government must consider as a matter of urgency.
It is the people who suffer the effect, the environmental and health effect, that should take it, and not the government. So the PIB committee of the Senate and the House and the executive, we should think of the best way of getting these gas flare penalties to the community and not to the government. And of course, we should do as much to ensure that we stop gas flare, convert the gas to economic, commercial use, because it is highly needed in the power and other sectors, and stop the flare.
Nigeria should be utilizing fully all the gas that they have, and they should stop the flaring, penalize heavily those who are still flaring gas, and capture that gas and make use of it for not only the benefit of the Niger Delta, but for the country as a whole. Because your power should be driven by gas. Trinidad's power, 99.9%, is driven by gas.
Gas flare penalty was first introduced in Nigeria through the Associated Gas Reinjection Act of 1979 as a deterrent measure to stop gas flaring in the oil fields of the Niger Delta. In its Flare Gas Prevention of Waste and Pollution Regulation of 2018, the federal government increased the penalty for gas flaring to $2 per 1,000 standard cubic feet of gas from 10 naira per standard cubic feet of flared gas. While the legislation aims at protecting the environment and preventing waste of gas resources, they are also in place to create economic benefits for oil-producing communities. However, the highly polluted communities are yet to benefit from gas flare penalty till date.
It is the individual and the persons who live within this community that suffer the effects of the oil of the penalty. If you go to a Belema area in River State, you go to Onelga, you will see that every roof there is black. Not that it was made black, but it is the effect of the gas flare that has kept the soot on there. Now, you also see right now, we start having the effect of the gas flare on generations. There is now birth defect. There is now a situation where some people are born with hand deformed. Some people are beginning to have internal ailments due to inhalation of this flared gas.
When you have things like the penalty that should be paid by companies for flaring gas in the region, I do not think that government should always be on the side of business operators or IOCs against its own people. That would be totally wrong. And so you, in fact, pressure them to pay these penalties to host communities, to help develop those host communities.
Without direct access to neither the gas flare penalty nor the 13% oil derivation fund, oil-producing communities in the Niger Delta have continued to grapple with widespread poverty and underdevelopment. No doubt, these are some of the structural causes of violent conflicts in the region which the federal government must address without any further delay. More importantly, there's need for the government to demonstrate greater commitments in implementing the Nigerian gas flare commercialization program to ensure efficient gas utilization and drastic reduction of flared gas to alleviate the plight of oil-producing communities in the Niger Delta.
Inside the Niger Delta. Introducing from the heart of Nigeria's Niger Delta region, a residential estate like no other, Victoria Creek Gardens Estate, VCG2 Airport Road, Port Harcourt, River State. A blend of aesthetics, functionality and simplicity built into 600 units of safe and comfortable accommodation. Located in an urban serene environment, VCG2 Estate is just 5 minutes away from the Port Harcourt International Airport. It features an already built police station, a shopping mall, hospital, hotel, cinema, club, gym, playground and many other facilities for your comfort. Purchase a home at our irresistible offer today for you and your family, or just simply invest in our real estate for a fantastic return on investments. For more information, call us on 070-410-01558 or visit our office at Plot 14 Woji Road, GRA Phase 2, Port Harcourt. Victoria Creek Gardens Estate, oasis in the garden. Heritage Bank. Service, performance, respect, integrity, innovation, tenacity, excellence. Heritage Bank, your timeless wealth partner. Azikel Group, oil and gas, dredging, power and air transportation. Azikel Group, petroleum product sufficiency, energy sustainability and infrastructure development.
Some Port Harcourt-based environmental rights activists have asked the River State government and the Federal Ministry of Environment to release without delay reports of committees set up to investigate causes of black soot enveloping Port Harcourt and its environs. The call follows renewed environmental threats posed by the return of black soot in the wake of the dry season in the River State capital and its environs. Correspondent Chika Bodozie has the details.
It's been over 5 years now since residents of Port Harcourt and its environs began to experience for the first time in 2015 an environmental disaster known as black soot. A thick black cloud of smoke released constantly into the atmosphere as a result of incomplete combustion of organic matter. The black soot has become a nightmare for Port Harcourt residents. It would be recalled that soon after it made its first appearance in 2015, environmental rights activists had launched a campaign to stop the poisonous black soot in Nigeria's Garden City. In response to sustained campaigns for a clean and safe environment in River State, the state government set up a scientific work group to investigate the prevalence of black soot. In May 2019, the state government set up a technical committee to implement recommendations of the scientific work group, which identified 12 sources of black soot in River State to include activities of legal and illegal refineries, destruction of illegal refineries by the military, fertilizer producing companies, and constant burning of tires and refuse. Worried that the details of reports turned in by the committees set up by the River State government are not yet in public domain, some environmental rights activists are demanding an immediate release of the report. In furtherance of the people's right to know, our crew reached out to River State Information Commissioner Paulinus Interim, who referred us to the Commissioner for Environment, Dr. Igbix Tamono. However, efforts to establish the status of the official report on black soot proved abortive as the River State Environment Commissioner could not be reached at the time of filing this report.
We are calling on the River State government to publish that report that was submitted to him on the audit of black soot in River State. The Federal Ministry of Environment and Health, working together with the United Nations, should also release their own reports on this black soot so that we get to know what is causing the black soot.
There seems to be no end in sight for the deadly black soot, which subsides with heavy rainfall and peaks during dry season in the last 5 years. Its reemergence in the month of January this year has raised fresh health concerns in the state.
The pollution alone can also result in kidney problem, not just respiratory problem. Because of the derangement in the signaling, there is a propensity to have cancers. So these days we see increase of cancers, in our environment, in the practice.
Government needs to wake up. It is worse than what we are having as coronavirus. Right now, people ought to be wearing masks in the state of in Port Harcourt. Rather, it's because of coronavirus that we're doing that. We're forgetting the fact that for more than 4 years, on a daily basis, people have been breathing in soot, black substances into our system, and it is killing us.
The black soot currently ravaging Port Harcourt and its environs is a silent killer which may have been subjected to a political fray between the River State government and federal authorities. In March 2018, Governor Nyesom Wike blamed its prevalence on the activities of federal security agencies destroying illegal refineries across the state. Deputy Governor Ikpalibo Hari Banigo had given full vent to Governor Wike's feelings about the unending black soot while addressing protesters some years back at the entrance of Government House, Port Harcourt.
The federal government and the security agencies that have been using unusual and uncivilized methods to detonate bunkerings and such activities. And so, for us as a government, as a responsible government, we will always collaborate with the federal government to see that matters concerning the environment are taken seriously.
River State, the melting pot of Nigeria's hydrocarbon industry, plays host to several international and local oil companies whose activities contribute significantly to the release of the deadly black soot into the atmosphere. In the same vein, the activities of illegal refinery operators have been largely responsible for the black soot menace that has made life uncomfortable for Nigerians resident in River State.
continuous activities of illegal refinery going on in the length and breadth of the Niger Delta is the major cause of most of all these things that we're seeing. And most importantly is the fact that the government has not shown any willingness to reduce it, stop it, or even try to bring it to the minimal, barest minimal, to ensure that people don't see suits on a daily basis.
In the last 5 years, several strange illnesses and deaths in Rivers State have been attributed to the outbreak of the black soot, which is described as far more lethal than the COVID-19 pandemic currently ravaging the global community. The onus is on the federal authorities and the Rivers State government to make concerted efforts to effectively tackle the deadly black soot that has taken a huge toll on residents of Port Harcourt and its environs in the last 5 years. Inside the Niger Delta.
Political leaders in the Niger Delta have described the demise of retired Air Commodore IDONGESIT NKANGA, deceased national chairman of the Pan-Niger Delta Forum, PANDEF, as a painful loss to the Niger Delta region. They made the observation recently at his funeral in IBOM local government area of AKWA State, where prominent Nigerians went to pay their last respect to the first indigenous military governor of the state. Correspondent Tekena Miofori tells us more.
Prominent Nigerians from all walks of life were on the roll call of those who came to witness the funeral of late retired Air Commodore IDONGESIT NKANGA at his Ikotinya country home in IBOM local government area of AKWA State. They include top military brass, politicians from all geopolitical zones of the country, and leaders of thought in the Niger Delta. AKWA State Governor Emmanuel Udom, in his tribute, described NKANGA's demise as the end of an era in the state. The governor noted that, as first indigenous military administrator of AKWA State, NKANGA had laid a solid foundation for the development of the state. In an emotional-laden speech, Governor Emmanuel prayed for the repose of the soul of the departed.
My brother, my friend, Esiero, our Twego, may your soul find peace in the bosom of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. It's on this note, as my last respect for you, as the honor I could give you, the Ring Road 3 that we stood together to do a groundbreaking, I decided to name Ring Road 3 as Otwekong IDONGESIT NKANGA Avenue in memory of your contribution to this present government. May your soul find rest in the bosom of the Lord, while God will continually condole and keep us as we march on with your visions.
The late IDONGESIT NKANGA commanded the respect of AKWA and was generally loved for his good works. He was said to have executed several projects in AKWA State in its early days of creation, including establishment of the AKWA Broadcasting Corporation, which he officially commissioned on the 27th of July 1991. On retirement, he participated actively in politics and played key roles in the Niger Delta emancipation struggle. In April 2018, the late NKANGA, a leading member of the South-South Elders and Leaders Forum, became national chairman of the Pan-Niger Delta Forum, PANDEF, a position he held until his demise on December 24, 2020.
In the night, if you looked up, you would have seen the gas flare. You will see light in the skies. It's not heavenly party. It is flaring of gas. Our people are going blind because of it, yet the penalty that is paid is shared equally in this country. That is injustice. Isaac Adakaboro died because of asking for justice. Ken Sarawiwe died because of asking for justice. Odi was leveled because of asking for justice. We are not lunatics. We want justice.
We have lost an activist of the Niger Delta region. We have lost an intelligentsia of the Niger Delta region. We have lost an Air Commodore of Nigeria. May I, on behalf of the government and the people of Bayelsa State present to you our heartfelt condolences and commiserate with the NKANGA family, with my dear brother governor of AKWA and the people of AKWA and the people of the Niger Delta region and indeed of Nigeria. May his soul rest in peace.
Otuekong Indogesit Inka, a leading light of the Ibibio ethnic nationality, reportedly died from COVID-19 complications. His exit, no doubt, creates a leadership vacuum that could take a long time to fill in the political space, not only of Akwa Ibom State, but indeed the rest of the Niger Delta.
Inside the Niger Delta.
Quite a sad loss for the people of Akwa Ibom State and indeed the Niger Delta. Inside the Niger Delta also commiserates with the bereaved Nkaha family in the hope that they find the fortitude to bear the painful loss. Well, it's on that note that we draw the curtain on the program. Inside the Niger Delta, the authentic voice of Nigeria's oil-rich region, we'll be back same time, same station next week. Until then, you can follow us on our social media handles showing right now on your screen. On behalf of the production crew, I am Mamode Akugha, thanking you for staying with us. Bye for now.